So, welcome you all people here in the journey of connecting back to yourself. It's not only the class, it's how you can connect back to yourself. If you concentrate, if you will really intake this session, this will really start working with you because this is not only physical, this is not only talks, but there is a lot more going on. There is some spiritual energy is also is connecting, and that is why you feel that there is a thoughtlessness and all these things. So today's session, we are going to talk about thoughtlessness. So what is thoughtlessness? And thoughtlessness is about, everybody knows this is thoughtlessness is no thought. But the state of no thought is not equivalent to no intelligence. The state of no thought is equivalent to more and more intelligence. The lesser thoughts you have, the more intelligent you are, because you have space to think, to construct within yourself, and then say, and then produce something from within yourself. So when you have so much of a space, because you have less thoughts, you can create better things. And that is why in yoga, what for more intelligent to become more intelligence, you need to become less. You need to have less thoughts. The lesser thoughts, the better you are, because thought itself will make some kind of friction within yourself. So within your mind, there is some kind of friction. When a lot of thoughts are there, a lot of energy is getting consumed. And when you have less energy, you cannot work. So yogic people, what they have discovered is if you have less thoughts, you do not have much of the friction. But you would ask me, friction, where is the friction? Friction is happen in the mind, in between the pranic energy, the life trance that I have explained you earlier in the last two sessions. There is life trance. So when the life trance are very, very minute, they actually connect to each other, and in that process, there is a lot of energy is wasted. So when you think something, there is a lot of energy wasted. So when the energy is wasted, you cannot connect back to yourself. That is a very tricky point. You cannot just talk so much and you have more thoughts and connect back to yourself. As I told also in the previous session, when you want to connect to your own self, you need to drop the thought process. Thought is a curtain between you and the reality. You and the reality is the same thing. There's no difference. So, but the thing is that because there is a curtain in between, you can't see yourself. And the curtain of thought needs to be completely dropped. So in this session, we are talking about thoughtlessness, how to connect to the thoughtless state. And yoga from Patanjali Yoga Sutra, which is one of the most prominent texts in yoga, that says, the second verse says, Yogaschit vritti nirodha. That means cessation of thoughts is yoga. So as I told yesterday, last time also, when you stop the thoughts, anybody who is able to stop the thoughts, yoga is already achieved. So yoga is not about exercise. That is yoga. That is a real yoga. But people are not able to get this point. Because when you can connect back to yourself, you have plenty of health, you have plenty of intelligence, you have plenty of memory. Everything becomes plenty. Everything becomes more. But for that more thoughts needs to be reduced. Is this clear? So yoga means thoughtlessness. The original yoga means thoughtlessness. And that is what we are working on, thoughtlessness. Connection between yoga and thoughtlessness. So yoga tells you how to become thoughtless. Since we have taken births after births and we have so much of karmas on top of ourselves, we have been doing different things, and that's why the image of what we have been doing in the outside world is reflecting within ourselves. And that is why this becomes unstoppable thought within ourselves. We need to stop these thoughts. But since we have been doing for a long time, it is difficult to stop it at once, or maybe in 1, 2, or 3, or 4 sessions. And that is why in Patanjali Yoga, people say, okay, you do asanas, then you do pranayama, then you do breathing practices, and you do bhakti, and you do your reading, and you do think about God. Whatever else you can do, you just keep doing. But the last point you need to come to is how to become thoughtless. This all journey takes you to how to become thoughtless. All these mantras, all these pujas, whatever you do in life, just the prime focus is how to become thoughtless and no thought. And that is why after this, we engage into meditation and samadhi. So meditation and samadhi means you become less and less thought into less thoughts, and then you become completely thoughtless, which is called samadhi, which is the highest point of yoga. So this is what people aimed for and which has completely been forgotten. So this is what I'm teaching you, and that is why there is always the stress is on how to reduce thoughts. How thoughts is deeply inherited in our daily life. This is very important. Now, some people would say, I don't want to do that. I like to have a lot of thoughts. I want to create something in this. Thoughtlessness is a boring state. No, the thing is that it's an amazing thing to know that nature itself has given us all those activities. And in all those activities, we are becoming thoughtless on everyday basis. Now, this is very important. Now, when you watch a movie and when you see adventurous movie, why do you like adventurous movie? Because in adventurous movie, there are more times, more frequently, you are becoming thoughtless. How is just why is just because when you are in watching a movie, you watch a movie and there suddenly something comes up or some bomb just explodes, and then you say, oh, and then you say, like, there at that point of time, everything stops. The thought stops. And it is not the meditation process God has given you. Because without the state of being into thoughtlessness, you cannot survive. And that is why when you study, people who like study, they engross themselves and they become thoughtless. It's a zero. It's a thoughtless state. So they are not enjoying books. They are enjoying the thoughtless state within themselves through reading the book. And this is called illusion. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Okay. So, and when you do certain kind of any activity, like you ride a motorcycle. So when you ride a motorcycle, you become completely thoughtless. You have less thoughts. You come back to your own self and then you start enjoying. You think that I am enjoying my motorcycle, but it's not the motorcycle. Through the motorcycle, you're enjoying yourself because there is no thought in between you and your own reality. This is what you need to get. So the nature has already given it to you. So what we're doing here in meditation is also connecting back to our own self and realizing this thoughtless state. Since it has given in our nature, through the nature, we can inherit this within ourselves through meditation.